to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Good evening, families, friends, teachers, and of course, students of the class of 2021. Tonight, we are high school graduates. Tomorrow, the rest of our lives begin. 120 different stories will be written by the Speedway High School class of 2021. Though our paths will surely be different, we all share the same experience of graduating high school during a global pandemic. And while the pandemic has taken so much from us, in some ways it has given us something too. It has given me an understanding of our interdependence on one another. Though our individual actions may be small, they are infinitely important. For instance, wearing masks, social distancing, canceling events, it wasn't about you or me individually. These actions were for the greater good. These inconveniences saved lives. This is not to say that we shouldn't put ourselves first, but rather that our actions have important impacts on those around us. My classmates definitely had a positive impact on me. For one thing, they have taught me resilience. This pandemic struck us at a point in our lives which was already pretty stressful. And although dealing with COVID-19 made a lot of things difficult, I never saw it detract from the ambitions of my classmates. For example, some of them went into school early every day just to work on AP Calculus, and many broke personal athletic records in their own sport. The class of 2021 has shown how to get back up after being knocked down. This resilience in the face of uncertainty will serve us well throughout our lives. On a personal note, I would like to thank my mom and my dad. I'm extremely grateful for the way they raised me. I've never felt pressured by them to achieve anything, but I've always felt encouraged and empowered. More importantly, though, I admire who they are as people. They're two uncompromisingly compassionate individuals who have always chosen to try to make the world a better place. And I also want to thank my friends. There's a quote that reads, "A friend is one who overlooks your broken fence and admires the flowers in your garden." I feel lucky to have known all of you. I would not be exactly who I am today if it weren't for exactly how each of you are. Shout out to my friends. In closing, I want to say you got this to all my classmates. Being here today is proof that we all have the power to succeed, even in the face of significant obstacles. So congratulations, class of 2021. I wish you all success, happiness, and contentment. As one of my favorite musicians, Kid Cudi, advises, I know it's easy to imagine, but it's easier to just do. Do what makes you happy. Each of our stories has yet to be written, but you have the power to make it as great as you always imagined it would be. Thank you.
Welcome, parents, families, friends, in the class of 2021. As I was writing this speech and thinking about the message I wanted to share, my thoughts kept drifting to that story our grandparents loved to tell us about their days in school. You know how it goes. They had to walk 2 miles in the snow, uphill, both ways. Well, I think the class of 2021 has far exceeded that. We definitely had some uphill battles and metaphorical storms to fight. So I am proud to say that I am a member of the Speedway High School class of 2021. We persevered through many obstacles no one ever expected. None of us could have predicted our lives would have been so drastically changed overnight. We quickly shifted to virtual learning and lost so much of what makes school more than just academics. Eating lunch with friends, talking to our favorite teachers, going to dances, playing sports, participating in clubs, the list is endless. And while we got to come back in the fall for in-person classes, life just wasn't the same. Masks, social distancing, and for some, experiencing the loss of a loved one because of COVID. But what makes this class so incredibly remarkable is that we navigated through this unknown territory and we did it with grace. I know this has not been an easy experience for us, and we've gone through many trying times, but we made it through. We did it. We are here, actually here together in person, now at the end of the road of our time in Speedway schools. As we reflect on our high school career in this moment, we may be tempted to focus on the hardships we endured and the things that were taken away from us. But just think about how much we have overcome and how much stronger, more determined people we have come to be. Winston Churchill once said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And the class of 2021 has done exactly that by learning to adapt and overcome adversity. For instance, members of our class put in much time and effort to plan a prom, one last moment where we could all be together. During quarantine, when students were unable to play sports, I saw many members of our class jogging in the park or doing exercises on their own time in order to stay in shape. Some of us had to take modified AP exams online at home, which was quite a challenge considering that the majority of the year we were preparing for exams that would be in person and were supposed to look so different. But despite that, many of us were still able to earn qualifying scores. All of us learned how to work through online school, a task that takes more focus and dedication. We were hit with hard times during our high school career, but instead of throwing in the towel, we learned how to adapt and work through all the challenges we faced. When we look back at our time in high school, we can proudly remember how we didn't let any obstacles overcome us. We improved ourselves and became better people because of it. Although it seems frightening that now it is our time to go out into the world, we are more prepared than ever to face it. The sky's the limit for us. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the class of 2021 because I know it'll be nothing but great things. Now is our time to shine and to show the world we are ready to face anything life may throw at us. Difficult times may be ahead, but just know that we are more than ready to overcome them. Former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz once said, "Remember this, every day some ordinary person does something extraordinary." This year, with everything that has happened to us, even the small things are extraordinary victories for us. Whether it be saying some kind words to a fellow classmate, getting up each and every day and coming to school, even though our school days have been nowhere near normal, or even just completing an assignment on time. These little things are more extraordinary than we give ourselves credit for. So I would like to say this to my fellow 2021 graduates. With what we were challenged with over our 4 years and the hardships we endured this past year, today is our day to do something extraordinary.
My name is Kyle Trebley, Superintendent of Speedway Schools. It is my pleasure to introduce the Board of Trustees for the school town of Speedway. But first, I would like to ask members of the audience to take a moment and acknowledge another person next to you. Speedway is a small community, and we gather together this evening to collectively, not individually, honor our children and the graduating class of 2021. Please make a commitment to one another at this time to maintain decorum and refrain from individual recognition of a student this evening. We all would not want one student to be slighted because of an outburst regarding the previous student. We have all practiced with the student body and expect their best behavior this evening. Please make the same commitment to one another in the audience. I also ask that should a child become noisy, please allow the child and their caregiver to quickly exit the gymnasium to minimize the disruption to the program. Finally, please join me in silencing any electronic devices, and I thank you for that. I ask each member to rise at their place upon introduction and remain standing. I ask the audience to hold recognition until the entire board has been introduced. Board Member, Mrs. Laura DeGay. Board Member, Mrs. Debbie Gonzalez. Board Secretary, Mr. Tom Smith. Board Vice President, Mr. Luke Bickle. And Board President, Mr. Bill Harding. Thank you.
What a year. In early July, Dr. Trebley confirmed that we had approval to come back full in person, teaching and learning. I was really relieved. I believe it's the best way that most students can learn, and I think it's the best way to operate a school. Then as I started reviewing the state and the county guidelines for opening a school in a pandemic, I got really nervous. After a morning with the custodians, we're moving desks and tables in and out of classrooms, trying to create as much space as possible. It was time for lunch and they were ready to take a break. I did too, but as I sat there, that anxiety kind of worked back up. Really feeling nervous about how everything was going to go, and so I said, I'm just going to go back to it. I'm going to continue working. I went up to our wrestling room to start to get things ready for lunch. About 45 minutes later, one of the custodians came back and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm working." And she kind of looked at me, and I took a breather and realized I had ripped my pants. I was covered in sweat, and for 45 minutes I'd been wearing my sunglasses instead of my mask in a room by myself. That was my level of panic about how we were going to open this school up safely. But then I remembered, if anyone can do this, we can do this. We have this group of seniors who's going to set the tone. They'll handle this better than anyone. That's what you guys have done for 3 years. And in that moment, I found some peace and perspective. And then I went right back to freaking out. But as the first day of school came closer and closer, those moments of peace got longer and the anxiety dwindled. You guys were the source of my confidence. Once we were back, your leadership and willingness to meet new expectations and keep things as normal as possible while prioritizing safety was everything we could have hoped for and more. It's common for schools and for graduating classes to exaggerate, talk about how they're the best. Well, let me help make your case for you. Schools are typically judged on their academics, their arts, and their athletics. This class has been exceptional in each area. Our concert band recently earned an ISMA Gold rating with distinction. That's the first award of such high prestige in school history. Of course, frustratingly, COVID prevented the band from participating as often and as visibly as they usually do, and it closed down many of their competitions. We know this talented group would have definitely added to their trophy case given the opportunity. And I'm still really confused how we can have 2 students wrestle, but we can't have 2 students play drums within 10 feet of each other. Baffling. So this weekend, when you see them and hear them marching through your neighborhood and playing on the track, give them an extra loud cheer. You'll enjoy their performance, I guarantee that, and I also guarantee that they really deserve it. It's also fitting that we're having this ceremony in this newly air-conditioned gymnasium, because if you look up here on the wall to the right of the goal, you can see the 2018 State Softball State Championship placard. At the baccalaureate, Carson read an exhaustive list of athletic championships that this group has claimed over the past 4 years, and we just added another one last night. We know that this list would have been even longer if those spring season last year had been able to continue. We also know that the members of this class as freshmen carried their load and more of what it took to get that state championship. Anyone who comes to this school, to the gym, or drives by and sees the sign on the back of the softball field will remember the accomplishments of this class. This is an amazing group of student athletes. To the left of the softball state championship placard is the insignia of the National Blue Ribbon Award. That's the highest honor the United States Department of Education offers to schools. And while it says 2020 on the bottom, please know the biggest portion of the data used to determine who gets this award, it was you guys. It was your unparalleled excellence and academic achievement, the class of 2021. You've continued to enable our school to reach new heights in every measured academic category, empowering yourselves with skills and readiness, and you've shown our younger students what can be accomplished. Speedway High School is the best school in Indiana, and this is the class, the best class, that made it so. Most people seek the comfort of moving towards the middle, towards the average. This class is the class that moved the average up. That's half of this. That's graduation. We get to look back. We get to remember our accomplishments, our experiences, and our friendships. The other part of this is commencement. We get to look forward. It's a beginning. The best predictor of the future is past performance, so celebrate what you've done and make sure you remember it. I think we all understand we're living in a high anxiety society right now. There's more change and uncertainty on a daily basis than ever before, and everywhere you turn, people are telling you to worry about something that you probably shouldn't, or not to worry about something that maybe you should. Most of the time, they're doing that for attention, to influence your opinion, or maybe to get your money or your vote. But also understand this, there isn't a school where students get to learn from 7 better teachers throughout the day, where you get the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities that excel, or that has a community that offers such consistent and generous support. You are prepared. That preparation is your investment in yourself and should give you confidence. You're capable of overcoming any challenge that you encounter and any endeavor that you undertake. With all the negativity and areas for improvement in the world, knowing that we're sending you out there gives me optimism and the same confidence that you gave me back in July. Whatever comes up, you will figure it out. You're limited only by the chances you don't take and the limits you place on yourselves. Remember, a little stress and anxiety, that's okay. We feel that whenever we're trying something new, growing, and improving. I can't wait to see the heights that you reach and the goals that you surpass. Don't forget that you're blessed to have the support of everyone here in the audience with you. You'll always have the support of the Speedway High School staff and this community. Like they say, once a spark plug, always a spark plug. I would now like to present to the school board the Speedway High School class of 2021. Please stand and come forward. On behalf of the class of 2021, I want to again emphasize that you hold your applause and comments until the end of the ceremonies when I pronounce the class as graduates. Devin Anthony Isaac. Ransom Moyanalua Adeyeye. Aminat Anulawapo Ajani. Courtney Lynn Allen. Emma Mary Frances Allison. Esos Wayakpor Valerie Anigburo. Samuel David Arley. Madison Lynn Barnes. Caitlin Marie Bowerly. Donovan Malachi Benninger. Christian Donahue Berry. Aiden Kenneth Bishop. Brianna Renee Black. Lauren Elizabeth Bowman. Tabitha Jo Brooks. Riley Jade Marie Busick. Maya Jean Carandang. Jessica May Chaplin. Roshan Chantel Kuti. Garrett Nathaniel Cox. Madeline May Cox. Austin Riley Danner. Michaela Lynette Davis. Emma Lee DeVault. Keon Tay Dinwiddie. Tyler Jacob Eccles. Sully Lane Eckert. Bailey Sue Evans. Jacqueline Cecilia Eversole. Owen Parker Ezel. Alexa Bailey Faulkner. Kaya Mason Finters. Blake Ashton Flynn. William James Foster. Asaya Haven de Guzman Francisco. Shayna Francois. Destin Javai Gentilian. Bradley Carter Giacconi. Augustina Zane Marie Gibson. Madison Barbara Estelle Golden. Curtis Martin Gooch. Ashanti Antoinette Green. Molly Mackenzie Griner. Carson Daniel Harrison. Brooke McKenna Hartman. Megan Sue Hill. Cole Robert Lee Hooper. Lane Alexandra Hooper. Jasmine Jade Hopper. Gregory Darnell Howard. Poi Tu. Austin James Huddleston. Ryan Christopher Elliott Huskisson. Adriana Nicole Jackson. Emmanuel Jacob Jasper. Alan Joseph Jeter. Karen Wan. Avery Janine Conrad. Jeremy Scott Laffin. Rigoberto Otaniel Landaverde Mejia. Ek E. Lar. Yvette Lopez. Samuel Arthur Magnabosco. Grace Estefania Grigsby Mallet. Riley Ann Mathis. Alex McConnier. Brian Israel Mendoza Rapaccioli. Melina Grace Mercado. Chloe Angelique Claire Mercier. Michael Sean Miller. Corey Gail Moore. Kylie Minette Moore. Favor Onyeka Chukwu Henrietta Unduboku. Hugo Osario. Evan Wright Owens. Lorelei Ann Penny. Sansire Alize Perkins. Ryan Bradley Pettigrew. Emmeline Karen Ann Pickens. Ella Ray Liddell Potter. Jorge Puga Hernandez. Madeline Elizabeth Randolph. Sydney Alexandria Rendez. Carter Anthony Richardson. Emma Grace Richardson. Denora Estefani Rivera Burgos. Addison Marie Robinette. Carlos Antonio Ruiz Blanco. Katia Melissa Salinas Enriquez. Jerry Sanchez Perez. Carter Payne Sarkeen. A. Bluth Show. Kendall Nicole Short. Mary Therese Simonson. Ta Ta Mu So. Brian David Soto. Sabri Alima Span. Taylor Olivia Sparks. Blake Andrew Stewart. John Lawrence Thompson. Megan Elise Tepp. L2. Yoangel Torres Montes. Gad Tuisinge. Andrew Tyler Valentine. Shirley Nicole Villegas Luz. Jacob Stephen Wachter. Joshua Christopher Walcott. Reese Christopher Warren. Haley Grace Watts. Rachel Madison Ware. Aaliyah Nevea Wells. James Christopher West. Gracie Elise White. Emma Lynn Wilson. Christoph Kieran Wilson. Ayana Levon Woods. Joel Alexander Zavala. Will the class of 2021 please stand? By the authority given to me by the School Town of Speedway Board of Directors and the Indiana Department of Education, I hereby declare you graduates from Speedway High School for the class of 2021. Please advance your tassels.